Hello and welcome my little darlings to this spooky video, and today is the 1st of October, and in just 30 days we are gonna celebrate Halloween on the 31st of October. But why do we celebrate Halloween, you might wonder? That and much more we are gonna get to know about in the coming Mondays during this October. But today we are gonna learn about the Christian origins of our beloved Halloween. So please don't forget to like and subscribe before we begin the video so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos on this subject. So, now, let the spooky adventure begin, my darlings. Halloween, a night filled with ghouls and evil spirits and kids in costumes that goes trick-or-treating. But why is it called Halloween? Halloween, the word, is actually of Christian origin and dates back to 1745. It literally means hallowed evening or holy evening, and it comes from a Scottish term for All Hallows Eve, and over time All Hallows Eve turned into Halloween. But what is All Hallows Eve, you might ask? It does sound like Halloween after all. All Hallows Eve is actually the starting day of All Hallowtide, a Christian feast that starts on the 31st of October and ends on the 2nd of November, where the first day is called All Hallows Eve. All Hallows Eve were a day where you would stay awake, fast and light candles on the cemetery in preparation for All Hallows Eve. The second day is All Hallows Day and is when the actual feast starts. This day were to remember all the martyrs and saints that had yet to be canonized into the churchly traditions. The third day is All Souls Day, which were a day to remember and light candles for more unimportant but faithful people, like friends and family. However, nowadays this is often mixed up with All Hallows Day and people will light candles for the dead relatives on All Hallows Day instead. But when did this Christian tradition arise? All Hallows Day is a Catholic tradition that has its roots in the beheading of John the Baptist and were instituted in 609 by Pope Boniface V when he rededicated the Pantheon in Rome to Saint Mary and all the martyrs on the 13th of May, which coincided with the Roman feast of the dead called Lemuria, but more on how Lemuria influenced All Hallowtide in a later episode. The official switch to November 1st was made by Pope Gregory V on the day of Samhain, a Celtic end of the harvest festival that have influenced the Christian and in the end our modern Halloween. But we are gonna talk more about Samhain in a later episode. By the end of the 12th century, these days had become holy days of obligation across Europe, days that you were expected to attend church, and involved such traditions as ringing church bells for the souls in purgatory, and was also customary for criers dressed in black to parade the streets, ringing a bell and calling on all good Christians to remember the poor souls. There was also a practice called souling, the custom of baking and sharing cakes for all the Christian souls. This custom dates back to at least the 15th century and was found in parts of England, Germany and Austria. Groups of poor people, often children, would go door to door during All Hallowtide, collecting these soul cakes in exchange for praying for the dead. Oftentimes, hollowed out turnips were carried by the people that went souling and were allegedly representing the souls in purgatory that they were praying for. In our Christian world, that is where we are told our trick-or-treating and pumpkins come from. It were also thought that the dead would wander the earth until All Hallows Day, and All Hallows Eve were the last night they could seek vengeance on somebody in the living world. So in order to avoid such vengeance, people would often disguise themselves on All Hallows Eve so the dead souls wouldn't recognize them. But is this really a suitable holiday for the Christians to celebrate? Or is it just like any other holiday the church have adopted, a feast day or festival to make the transition from pagan beliefs to the Christian beliefs more easy? That is a question we are gonna get our answers to during this October. But let us take a look what the Bible says about being dead and see if there is really a need to honor the dead. In Ecclesiastes 9 and 5 we read, "For the living know that they will die, but the dead know nothing at all. Nor do they have more reward, because all memory of them is forgotten." If we move up a few paragraphs, in the 10th paragraph we read, "Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might, for there is no work, nor planning, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave, the place where you go." As we can see here, The dead does not know anything at all, and there is nothing waiting on the other side. So where does this notion come from that the dead might come back and haunt us during All Hallowtide, and how did it become a Christian tradition in the first place? Might it have something to do with Lemuria and Samhain and the Christianization of Europe? But let's take one step at a time and talk about Samhain and Lemuria in the next episode to see if there is any connection at all. I hope you thought that were interesting, my darlings, because I sure did, and I hope you want to press that like, subscribe and notification icon so you don't miss next week's episode and you don't miss anything else on my channel during this Halloween. Of course there will be a bit of gaming and a bit of makeup looks, but it will be mostly Halloween inspired, except the 2 first gaming videos. So thank you so much for watching, and never forget, be who you are since nobody else can, and have a real hallowed time this October. Bye!